Okay, back on the Lung Dark. We're going to pick up where we left off last time, which is in the gold mine, right after sleeping in the gold mine. And we're going to begin sort of the descent back down to the lower areas. Why does this sound? Well, hopefully it isn't blizzard, but it's sounding very blizzardy. We're going to begin the descent back down to lower areas. We'll leave the coal here. How many cans do I have? Maybe I might leave a can here as well. No cans on me, so we won't leave a can here. It sounds like a blizzard, which is potentially going to be a problem, because we have to, don't really have anything to do here in the dark. Oh, it's sounding a little bit better. Maybe the blizzard's clearing off. But yeah, we're going to begin the descent back down into sort of the lower zones, back down to places like Declaration Point, so we can craft things like the knife and axe, and start harvesting hides for making hide clothing. Now that we've got the carrying capacity, that'll make that a lot easier. I've been trying to get one of these up every day at around 6 p.m. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it probably went live at 6 p.m. There'll probably be another one following this one at 6 p.m. the following day. If you're watching this on Twitch, they're only up for 7 days after they're recorded live on Twitch. So if you've watched them, well, if you're watching on Twitch right now, the earlier parts may not be visible anymore. You may need to go onto YouTube to watch the other parts if you want to catch up on where we are. We'll see how bad the weather is when we actually load outside. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I'm gonna stay inside and do whatever I can in the dark while we wait for the weather to change. Okay, so we obviously have the heavy hammer we need to do the crafting when we get down to lower levels. Depending on how the weather is when we exit Ash Canyon, I may take the path up to the summit. We might do Timberwolf Summit on the way. Down, sort of do it as an addendum on the way down. We're not going to wear this scarf unless something goes horribly wrong, so we're going to turn that into cloth while we're waiting. Yeah, everything this run is looking good and looking in the up and up. Really, at this point, as long as we're careful, everything should go well. There is always the opportunity for things to go wrong. Doubly so, like we were just experiencing that we're in a blizzard. And it looks like we're gonna have to travel a bit in that blizzard because I don't have anything productive to do here while we're waiting. So we'll be traveling in the blizzard. Hopefully the first bit of the trip goes well. I assume once we get out of the wind shelter here, we're gonna start losing it really quickly. So we're gonna have to be quick about where we're going. There is a stopover area that I will stop in that I know about. We can warm up. We're going to do 2 climbs in quick succession in low visibility and high wind conditions, which is super great. We will probably take a little bit of condition damage doing this. In the last video I said there's like multiple different ways up to the gold mine, and one of the ways is 4 climbs. If this wasn't blizzard condition, I'd show you where the climb up from where we just exited the gold mine is. But this is the route that we're sort of descending right now. That would be the 4 climbs up to the gold mine. There's that rope that we just took down. Normally if you're going up to the gold mine, you'd be taking it up instead of down. From there, where we exit the gold mine, there's another rope up to the rope we took down into the gold mine. And then there's still one more climb to get back down to sort of ground level in Ash Canyon. That's where we're headed right now. Let's go sprinting here. Because we're going to shortly start taking damage due to the cold. One advantage of it being sort of blizzard weather right now is we don't have to worry about any wolves or any mooses. One place I frequently run into a moose is actually the bottom of this climb. This area down here, sort of, probably wouldn't be able to see it very well because of the blizzard right now, but right over there is usually where the blizzard, or right where the moose would be, if it wasn't the blizzard. So I'm gonna hug the right wall here. I don't think that's the way. No, that's not the way. Until we get to the switchback, that's where it goes up to a cave. And then I'm going to go into that cave and use that cave to warm up. And probably use that to turn my low-quality water into, or my unsanitized water into usable water. One great thing about this area that we're passing through right now is there's a bunch of birch bark that would be taking more time to harvest if the weather was better. Because the weather is so bad, unless the birch bark are in front of me, I'm not taking a detour to grab it right now. So here's the cave I was talking about, Stone Shelf Cave. It does look like we're going to need a fire to warm up. We probably got too wet from the blizzard to be warm in this cave. If it hadn't been blizzard weather, we'd probably start warming up here just by walking in here. But due to the soaking of our clothes, due to the blizzard, we don't get that convenience. It's still early enough in the run that I don't have fire starting 3. If you've played the game long enough, you can start with fire starting 3, but that's not one of the perks I took this run. Fire starting 3 allows you to not have to bring tinder along, right? So you can start fires without tinder. Also makes the fire starting a little faster and makes it more likely to succeed. So I do have a decent failure chance here. That's one reason why you see me every time flipping to the stick, is the stick has a higher probability of starting than either the reclaimed wood or the tinder or the wood. So I'm trying to start the fire with a stick. Your probability of starting fire goes all the way up to, I believe, 100% once you get it up to fire starting 5 with a stick. I'm also using the lantern trick, or the torch trick, to only have to only use one match to light a fire, regardless of how bad you are. Because if you use a match on a fire starting attempt and you don't have a way to actually, or if you don't succeed on starting the fire, you have to use another match. If you are using a torch, it will stay lit, so you can keep trying. So we succeed there. We do need to warm up. I'm going to toss 2 coal on there, both to save some weight, because coal is heavy, and because it will get the fire nice and warm. So in half an hour, those will be cooked. In the process, we did have the birch bark, so we'll make the birch bark prep the birch bark. And basically warming up. I don't really have a good place to stop between here and the exit cave, so I don't really want to leave this cave until the blizzard stops. We do have a bunch of fuel, so we're not in a rush to leave. So I might be just finding excuses of things to do in this cave until the blizzard stops. So we got 5 teas we can make up. We can make a tomato soup can, probably a potato soup can. Birch bark. We make reishi mushroom. blizzard still seems to be going, based on the sound. Start making up those teas. One thing that would be nice to do is to get to higher level cooking skills. We're still only cooking 2. And that's something that we can sort of do that is productive. We're waiting for it to stop being blizzard conditions. So we sort of hit a slow spot here while waiting for this blizzard to pass. Making the best use of the time as I can. I'm out of water. Not letting me cook herbal. It's making me think I'm out of water. And we're making water. Put some more fuel on the fire. Something pass a little bit of time is that we're gonna get 1% condition back, 1%, well, a 1/12 of our fatigue back as well by sleeping for an hour quickly. Okay, much better. Sounds like that blizzard has finally passed. I'm gonna take the risk that it might come back and finish getting this water here prepared. 8 minutes on there. Six minutes. And each thing I'm cooking here, besides the water, is giving me 1 cooking experience. So it's 10 to go from 1 to 2. I think it's another 35 to go from 2 to 3. Might be 45. With the blizzard done, we should be able to reasonably safely pass down. Oh, here. Didn't grab that last torch time, so I'll have to grab one of the torches and manually light it off the hearth. We should be able to safely get all the way down to the transition cave over to Timbal's Mountain. And assuming the weather is decent there, we'll make the ascent up to the summit. If the weather is bad, I'll instead descend down to Trappers and attempt the summit a different day. It is still fairly early. How wet are we? Okay, everything dried out, so it's just our clothes is not warm enough to handle the coldest part of the night. We're basically entering into the coldest part of the night at this point. Which, actually, at this stage of the game is not that surprising. We've got decent stuff for Interloper before you get into high clothing. But unless I'm, like, multi-bear clothes deep, I'm probably not going to be warm at this point in the night. So as we walk through here, we're mainly looking out for wolves. We are entering an area where there can occasionally be a wolf or two, though it's a lot rarer, especially on Interloper difficulty versus soccer. And this place is also pretty rich with birch bark. It's also pretty short in sticks, so I'll very happily pick up any sticks we see. I am planning on taking a long rest in the transition cave, so I'm not that worried about taking a little bit of damage, which is why I'm not sprinting here. Because I probably will end up too cold at this pace to not avoid taking damage. So I'll probably take a little bit of damage. But we'll get a large portion of that back when we long rest in the cave.
Cold is making my head feel thick.
Our character here complains a bit about the cold. Grab all the birch bark we can see along the way.
Never felt so cold in my life.
If you're doing a no-go run or something at this step, you probably would have wanted to stop a little bit earlier than this, just to warm up a tea or something. To avoid getting this condition damage. Definitely be a thing you could do. I think I've passed through the main bunch of the birch bark, so we're probably going to find less birch bark as we go from here on out. May still find a little bit. But that'll probably mean I'll transition to a little bit more sticks as well. From a travel itinerary standpoint, we're basically hugging the edge of the zone all the way down to the transition cave, so as long as you have a rough idea what you're doing, it's fairly easy to avoid getting lost doing this. That's the dead end, so I would have gone down there eating back up the ravines and save ourselves a little bit of time going this way. Though, there are the occasional ravine going up the side that are sort of dead ends, so if you are aware enough about them, you can save yourself a little bit of time by going down them, like I just avoided doing there. Yeah, this run's going reasonably well. Taking a little bit of cold damage right now because we're trekking in the coldest part of the coldest one of the night. But otherwise, nothing really at risk here. Slow and steady is sort of winning the race right now. It's not turning. Quick clearing of the throat. Oh, there's a stick. Do want to collect sticks. That's light than I'm expecting. That might be where we're going to. Why is that lit up? I don't know. Oh, I don't know why that was lit as well as it is, but this is the cave we wanted to find. We're only about 20 minutes in, so I'm not going to do a YouTube cut here. So YouTube's going to get a long video this time, instead of a short video. I think I'm going to try to get them to be a bit on the shorter side on YouTube, instead of the longer hour-long ones I started with. But I still want to break them up at points where it makes sense to break them up. And 20 minutes in is not really quite there. So it probably means the next break will probably be... might actually be the summit, assuming the weather holds. So I sort of intentionally went through the dead-end path just to maximize the loot we're getting going through this cave. So memory serves, if you hug left going through this transition cave, you'll get all the loot. Whereas hugging right will take you through the cave at the fastest path. On lower difficulty, sometimes you also find like a deer or wolf carcass down here. But on Interloper this time we didn't run into one. So this cave is mostly linear, other than the passes that go off into looting areas. So for example, here we just looted is bind here, but there's no way to go through here. You have to take that left turn instead of taking the right turn at the fork. So this is a cave that, as long as you sort of hug one of the walls, you'll not get lost in. But you just don't take the most efficient path through it. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm going down a dead end here just to get some more loot. And by more loot, I just mean a couple more lumps of coal.
Pack is getting kind of heavy.
So we've been in the cave long enough to heal the hypothermia risk. And here's the slope out of the cave into Timberwolf Mountain. We'll have our character take a long rest here before we go out into Timberwolf Mountain. That will make it daytime, which will both make it probably safer and easier to travel than traveling around to the torch, though we should probably be still cognizant of potential risks. Okay, so we want to hydrate up, and we want to... maybe don't need to eat before we sleep. How many calories do we have? Do we have enough for a 10-hour sleep? We do, so we'll just... it won't go the full 10 hours, I don't think the character is that tired. Yeah, it didn't go the whole 10 hours. And I picked that location to sleep because we'd be close enough to the cave exit that we could leave after picking up the bedroll. By the light of the daylight coming through the
right about now.
through the entrance. Okay, so we're gonna probably want to shed some weight here. I'm gonna go ahead and shed the two lumps of coal and firewood. The reason is we're gonna approach another climb. And if we can, avoiding abandoning a bunch of stuff at the bottom of that climb would probably be ideal. Then what we'd probably abandon is, again, fuel like that. We'd abandon coal, we'd abandon wood. So I'm going to go ahead and take the trip up to the summit. If everything goes according to plan, that should be pretty uneventful. So here's some more birch bark saplings. In addition to birch bark. I was not actually expecting to see birch bark here. I'll take you. I'll take you. There's a wolf. wolf hunting something? Maybe. Looks like it's jumping a rabbit. Yeah. Yeah, just got a rabbit. The weather's starting to turn, so I'm not going to try to steal the rabbit from that wolf. I'm going to let the wolf have it. I might have tried stealing it had it been better weather.
Too heavy.
Parents are complaining about being too heavy because of all the fuel I'm picking up, which is fine. I'll probably abandon some more fuel at the bottom of the climb. But gathering the renewable fuel like this, that can sort of casually just be picked up as you're walking through, is a very good way to pre-prepare fuel for later. Because if you've picked it up and moved it, it doesn't despawn. When the wind comes in to despawn and respawn the renewable stuff. So at this point we probably won't see any more dangerous wildlife between here and the summit. There is a small chance we'll see either a moose or a bear. Because I think there's a moose spawn near the climb up to the tunnel I'm going to use. We'll probably try warming up in that tunnel. And then behind where that moose spawn is the path down to the bear spawn. So there's some possibility the bear wanders over here. If the bear is spawning at that spawn. It might not, because we're on Interloper, and that reduces the number of bears on most of the maps. And I know the lower bear is up, so there's a decent possibility the upper bear is not. So if we had the bow and had some blunt arrows, we could try to hunt some ptarmigan right now.
Anything right now.
We are going to want to hunt ptarmigan, but I'm not going to worry about it until I'm back down in the camp office. I'm going to try to hunt it down around the camp office. So round about here is where a moose can sometimes spawn. Hard to tell from a distance. I don't necessarily see the emblematic scratching on those trees, so it might not be spawning this run. But I'm not close enough, so I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, now that we're past where that moose spawn is, we should not run into anything hazardous as far as wildlife is concerned for the rest of the climb. So now it's more of a process of trying to not be too cold and be efficient with our resources for the rest of the climb up to the summit. We have a bedroll, so we can sleep in the cave, and that's probably what I'm planning on doing. It may seem like that's not a great idea right now, or not very effective right now because we just have basically full fatigue, but we'll lose a bunch of fatigue going up this road. And that will hopefully mean we're doing the second climb, second longer climb in warmer weather. We are a little bit low in calories, so I'm going to eat some food before we do this climb. Doing a quick check to figure out which of the food items is the less weight efficient. Carrots, if you're trying to do some of the in-game recipes, or maybe something you want to hoard. I'm not going to bother hoarding them. Just because I'm not sure if they'll actually keep long enough if I plan on hoarding them for in-game recipes. And up we go. Eat a bit of food, drink a bit of water to get the food and water meters full, and to get those items off the wait list, and drop a bit of fuel because we had too much fuel. We are about to go into a cave where we can find more coal, so it made sense to drop coal. And there's the cave we're going to go into. This will take us up to the plateau right below the summit. And from there we can climb up to the summit. So the trip up to the summit is going well, going efficiently, with other than the weather being maybe a bit harsher than it needs to be. Otherwise it's going sort of perfectly. And then the weather could definitely be harsher. It could be full blizzard, which would be worse. This is technically not a transition cave. Sort of a cave within Temple of Mountain, so it goes from Temple of Mountain to Temple of Mountain. Other than the odd piece of coal in here, there's not a lot of good loot in this cave, if memory serves. I think there is one dead-end route that might have some loot at the end of it. So I'm not going to take a long time looking for loot in here. I'm pretty sure wood doesn't respawn in caves, so I don't need that fuel, so I'll leave that there. Then it'll be there in the future. I'm pretty sure coal does, though, so if I see coal, I'll pick it up. Another dead end. Nothing in that dead end. It's not visible in a quick scan. Okay, so we could go outside right away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick nap here to warm up, as well as potentially let the weather improve by passing some time. Afternoon, early night weather is probably warmer than early morning. I say probably. Occasionally you get storms, so if you end up with like a storm or blizzard going, that'll be colder even if it's later in the day. Though, I suppose a late afternoon blizzard is warmer than a early morning blizzard. So here we are, back in Temple of Mountain. So we got that rope up, so I need to position that one. Also going to sort of, as I'm up here, going to check this position of the rope, so we've got alternate, understanding what alternate routes we can take in future ascents. There is a exterior outdoors cave over here, if you're wanting a place to avoid cabin PvP. It's not a particularly great cave, so I probably won't spend much time in it. But you do get ptarmigans can sometimes land here, rabbits are here. Deer don't spawn up here, but there's this one deer corpse. And occasionally we get some loot like we do here.
I can always use more food.
Oops, I don't want the can of paint. So we're going to drop the can of paint. I'm going to bring the rope over to the downward position. And we're going to see if it's there. If it isn't there, I'm going to be tempted to warm up by starting a fire and taking the time to put this rope in position. If it is there, then I don't know where this rope goes. So I'm going to just leave the rope at the top of that climb. Preliminary viewings is implying the rope is not there, so we'll probably take the moment to install the rope. So we should have some wind shelter here. We do. At least from the current wind. Oh, the wind shift position. Or the wind is going to go away from me anyway, so that'll work. We don't want to burn the birch bark. We'll do something like that. Start the fire. Yeah, the run up to those points been going pretty smoothly. A lot better than the previous run, which only made it basically one play session. Actually, let's get stuff cooking while we're waiting. Oh yeah, we'll leave a can here. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. And I'll put out a cooking skillet with some water in it, and then we deploy the rope as those boil, like so. How long is it going to be to harvest the cedar limb here? Hour and a half. I do have that on the fire, but do I really want to spend an hour and a half here clearing that? I think because I have the fire going, I will. But that won't be the first thing I do, because I want to not lose this batch of water.
I need to find food. Put the wrong one down by accident with a misclick. So, do a leader. Would still take long enough that we can harvest that wood. Do need to put a little bit of fuel on this, so we're going to harvest that wood. Something like that. And then we can go over here and use the hacksaw to quickly harvest the cedar limb. Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
And we do need to get low enough weight that we can do the climb. Annoyingly, a blizzard came up while we were doing that. It shouldn't be a problem as far as the ascent is concerned. I do need some food, so I can avoid losing my carrying capacity bonus from well-fed. That should be good enough for us to go up the climb. There is a cave at the top of the climb. That cave may be warm enough, just raw with our equipment, if we don't get too wet on the way up there.
Food.
Otherwise, I'll probably have to go hunker down in the plane crash itself and try to multitask harvesting the plane crash while staying warm next to the fire. Because usually, well, frequently I find the cave, especially in an early rump up there, isn't warm enough to passively warm up in. In which case, if that's the case, then I don't want to hang out in that cave unless I start a fire. And if I'm going to start a fire, I might as well at least try to multitask the fire. Yeah, so you can see that is the long climb, a fairly long climb. If I hadn't been up the gold mine and if I hadn't gone and picked up, well, that was dumb. I should have been wearing the crampons. That was a bit risky because I had assumed I was wearing the crampons. Where I recommend if you've been up the gold mine, wear the crampons. That was why I was running so low on fatigue. I mean, you shouldn't. If you run out of fatigue, you start climbing real slow, and you run into the probability of having accidents as you climb. It's a lot safer to climb straight up that with the crampons on, but that's showing you about basically the limit you can do in one straight climb without crampons. Which I suppose is the reason why a lot of people don't necessarily wear the crampons, is that's about the biggest climb people frequently do. so we don't need that rope. I will probably put a note that there is a
Lay down for a bit.
rope on up here. I am not going to do the rope. I'm not going to do that comment right now because it's not warm in here. We're going to go into the plane. We're going to go start a fire in the
I
plane.
can drink almost anything about now.
And we're going to try multitasking our way through this blizzard. If you didn't know about the plane up here, I might actually recommend that you would stay in that cave. But I suppose if you're coming up here, probably you know about the plane because that's the main reason you come up here is to go to that plane. Found a hoodie. I don't think the hoodie's anywhere near best in slot, so it's probably junk, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so here's the plane. Here's the hole where I'm going to shove my campfire.
I could eat anything. Come on. It worked.
Here's the campfire. Toss a cup of coal in there to get it warm enough to warm us up. Gonna start warming up a birch bark. So we get a warming up bonus from that. Oops. Let's not burn the birch bark tea that we just started. That would be bad. Munch on some of our food. Let's actually cook that can of beans. And then we're going to start breaking into the area around here for loot. We're just going to pick up and start sawing into these containers.
Could end up being useful.
Container of shoes and socks. Any of those actual improvements. Parka is.
Gotta go.
Vest isn't. Decent hoodie isn't. Plaid shirt would be. Oh, so we start with you. That plaid shirt. Yeah, we'll do plaid shirt. These are my upgrades. We have better gloves. Nope. Unlikely we have a better hat. So we'll abandon the worst one. Earmuffs are nice. Better socks. We'll hold on one pair of socks as a backup pair of socks. They're also decent emergency bandages if you need to. Nope. Okay. Eat our pork and beans. Engage in a little use of our heavy hammer here. Found another mastering rope. Go ahead and slap the reclaimed wood we just got into the fire to keep the fire going. Go ahead and drink one of these teas to get some water and calories. And drink a bunch of water. One thing we're going to do a lot of while we're up here is we're going to generate water, because we're going to be keeping the fire going to stay warm. But as a side effect, we're going to be making a lot of work, because we can multitask like that.
Thank goodness.
Some Summit soda. Not bad food find. Pinnacle Peaches, when we get into making pies, that'll be good. We will probably end up making some pies.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Might lose the water, but we're not that worried about the water. So if we lose the water, we lost the water. We did lose the water. Nothing in that box.
I could eat a horse.
Don't even break those big ones. Enough time. Maybe we'll be able to open that cardboard box sometime. We will. Probably won't be anything in the cardboard box. There wasn't. Might be that one that has
Never been so hungry in my
dog food.
life.
Figuring out how to maintain
much
well
stuff
fed
to
while being
carry.
up here. Because I'd rather save the Pinnacle Peaches for making pie. Peach pie. But if I have to avoid losing well fed, I will eat them. A bunch of coffee. Coffee's good. That's good. Okay, we won't have to worry about food for a moment. So dark. There's the crate I want to break. Whoops. I screwed up and let my fire go out. Whoops,
I
Daisy.
need to lay down.
I'm eating the ketchup chips first because they have about the same calorie density as the cattails, but they you don't have to worry about them. Well, you have to worry about them going off. So eat them first is my thought process with that.
Come on.
Failed the attempt to start the fire.
Come on. All right.
We're basically going to use reclaim wood from here on out. I'm going to save the coal. Oh, was that? That really was my 10th fire? Interesting. I do need to warm up, so we're going to break these. The hammer. Don't need 9 liters of water on me, so drop some off.
Just laser flask, that's nice. Oh, I can't see the face that I need to work on there, so I'll do this crate instead. So because of how big this fire is getting, we will probably be able to safely
I could eat anything right now.
sleep up here next to this fire, because this is a place that is sufficiently insulated to not have the fire blow out. And we will probably do that to maximize our carrying capacity for going down the hill. Bit of a bright spot or bright time here, so we're going to do the looting that we need to see instead
This'll
of
come in handy.
work. Another earmuff. No luck with getting a flare gun.
Too heavy.
There's a bunch of natural resources if you're trying to sort of survive up here. But most of the resources that are non-renewable are all in the plain here. Which is why we're taking the time to harvest the plain. Find these. Okay.
Something's making me
One
feel
quick peek.
really
Make sure I
tired.
hadn't left the flare gun next to the corpse. And nope, I see no flare gun.
That'll come in handy.
Medicine, not super interesting. The cured hides. And a fire striker. Okay, so the fire striker makes it worth coming up here. I was about to say this is a this would have been a spawn that would have been worth missing until I saw that fire striker. Oops. I didn't let it completely do its thing. Okay. Do we have enough fire on the fire? We do have enough fire on the fire. Hammer time!
All I can think about is food.
I don't know. In his position, I'd be thinking more about sleep, but that's me. Minutes. Let's get this time. Toss another batch on. And break down this crate. Oh, we need to eat some food before we forget. So we don't lose that well-fed bonus. We will very much want it for the descent.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this this load for much longer.
You know, I think that's the first time I've had a warning you can't add any more fuel to this fire.
Thank goodness. Made it through another night.
Ah, more matches. Okay, I think that's the loot up here. Now it's time to eat, warm up, recover our fatigue for the descent. Struggles of having to eat the cattails one at a time. Okay, so we got enough in the fire for what it's saying is 10 hours, so we're going to sleep for 10 hours. Should give us enough fatigue to get down off the mountain.
Feels like a lot of gear.
That's because we need to do some inventory management before we leave, yes. Drink a little bit of water, because I'm going to plan on drinking one of those. Actually, we'll drink one of these teas instead. Drink some tea. And actually drink a coffee before we go. And search the backpack. Second pair of crampons. Obviously you don't need the pair of crampons. Usually you do, if you're careful, you can keep them in good enough fit without having to build a new set or find a new set. Quickly make a set of in-game notes. What's the game day? 12. Day 12. 2 ropes at the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. Gonna leave the cans, but we'll take the tea. Actually, I'm about the right weight. This is about the weight I want for the descent. So I'm going to do something that's referred to often in the community as billy goating for the descent. Instead of climbing down, this allows me to get a little bit more mass off the mountain safely. This is one of the, I think this is one of the 2 places in the game where I will actually billy goat. Well, I suppose it depends upon what you consider the path near Trapper's billy goat spot as well. Not Trapper's, camp office. You consider the camp office location a billy goat location as well, but one of 3 places I billy goat in the game. The other one being the gold mine. But we're going to basically billy goat down the face of Timberwolf Mountain, back down to the cabin at the bottom. Okay, where do I want to start the billy goat this time? That's looking like a bit steep way down. I know there's a good place to start and there's a bad place to start. It's remembering where the good place is. It's always the struggle of starting. So in an ideal world, we make it down without any broken ankles or broken wrists. I am prepared to repair those if we do end up generating them. But that's the worst that we'll probably generate going down here, billy goating, if we know what we're doing. And I've done it a couple times, which is why I'm fine doing it on stream. Okay, I think here's the slot. There goes an ankle.
I don't feel so good.
So we're probably going to have our character complain a bit about not feeling so good on the way down, because I ended up damaging the ankle so early. But as you can see, that didn't actually do any damage to us, so as long as we're careful, we should be able to make down here without taking any real damage.
Ah, damn, that's smart. Feels like night is coming.
Oop. Put the other ankle. Alright, well, now I don't need to worry about damaging my ankles,
I don't feel so good.
because I damaged both of them. Otherwise, our character's in 100% condition. Oop, wrong tab. And we're down the worst of it.
That hurts.
Yeah, we'll walk the rest of the way down. I could hypothetically try belly goating another section, or I could bandage myself up and do this
Feels
climb.
so good.
That's coming up. But I'm still overweight, so I can't do the climb. Really, game?
Damn.
The game just tried to take my ankle for the third time, but it can't do that if you already lost that ankle. You only have two, it can't do
Damn, that's
three.
smart.
So if you caught the very short-lived flash of red, that was the third ankle that I don't have, apparently getting damaged. But yeah, so if I had gotten down here without damaging either ankle, I could take that climb down. If I left some goods behind. And this isn't a bad place to leave goods behind, right? I could very happily leave like coal or something to get down to weight.
That smarts a bit.
As it goes, I'm probably going to
I could eat a horse.
complete the descent down to the purpose cache in this stream. Oh, another hacksaw. Is that better hacksaw? That is probably a better hacksaw than the one I have, so we'll take it with us. And now's the moment of truth. The answer is I have not recovered my stones from before. Okay, so there's a bit of a risk doing that versus dropping it and aiming a stone at it, in that it may detect that you don't have your torch, don't have the fire, and charge you prior to it being scared by the fire, which was the mild concern there. Okay, so you can kind of sort of see the switchback where we're going to go down from here. We're going to sort of switch back down that snowy area, and then go down the ice river to the cabin. At the cabin, we will do inventory management and a 4-hour rest to get our ankles back. And then we'll descend down to the preppers, where I will take a short break in the stream. and where I will do a cut in the YouTube video for the next part. Screw it. And that's why you carry weapons. So hopefully, you have remembered to pick up a stone by now, because I've been dumb and I've literally walked past stones. I could have totally had a stone.
Hurts.
But that was what I was worried about there. Is with the torch is
I don't feel so
if you throw the torch to scare him, you may not successfully scare him.
hurts a bit, but I'll make it.
And because he'll then be next to your torch, you don't really have a good option what to do. Really? Okay. This is going badly. This has gone from everything's going super well to now it's not. So we bandage up the wound. We use antiseptic on the infection. Drink a birch bark tea, and in the long run this will be only a temporary setback. Partially because I was prepared for things to go wrong, so that wasn't a problem. Really?
That hurts.
This wolf is being a problem.
I don't feel so good.
Oh, I can see this one limping, so this is the one that charged us early. What have I been missing this entire time? A stone. Had I had that stone, we would not be having all the pain. All the pain is due to not having that stone. So now, I do this. And though he'll spook me by running straight at me, everything else will be going according to plan. Are some cattails to have food to eat? We are running a bit low on cattails. And now that we have saltines, the cattails are the second to last food I eat versus the saltines. So I'm going to be eating my cattails. Just to get where I'm going, I would be tempted to sprint right now, but I can't because both ankles are injured. So there's the cabin, you can kind of see in the distance. I like having 3 stones on me, so I'm going to pick up 3 stones. We hopefully don't need the fuel to be warm for 4 hours in the cabin. That will be one thing I will run into in the cabin, is I will need to sleep or I will want to sleep for 4 hours. So I'm going to have to do 4 1-hour bursts.
I'm gonna need some first aid soon.
So if I'm not warm in the bed, I'll have to start a fire. But that's why I'm not picking that wood. Is well, I'd pick up that wood if I was worried about it. If I'm really worried about it. I'm only mildly worried about it, and I'm thinking it'll be fine. That wolf, I thought he was aggroed on me. I'm trying to look at him, and he re-aggros. Okay, we're in the hut. We'll be able to warm up here. I think without this torch. What's the warmth anyway with the torch? With the torch it's 13, so that means if I put the torch out, it should be like 12. Yeah, so other than being, we're going to be in low condition for a while because we're not going to get very good sleep here. We're going to take 4, like, 1-hour sleeps. So the worrisome thing is going forward is we're going to be low on health for a while. You need to get underway. You don't need to get underweight while we're right before we sleep, but a lot of stuff we can leave here. Cured deer hide we can leave. Rabbit hide we can leave. Wolf felt we can leave. I don't need that much cured leather. Don't need that scrap metal. Fuel. Yeah, we can leave some fuel here. Okay, so I'll guess the correct way. So 4 1-hour sleeps, and we'll get our ankles back. Okay, so I'm going to actually stop the stream here, or going to stop the video here as far as YouTube's concerned, because we've got an Aurora, so we're going to get stuck here longer than I intended, because I'm not going to leave in the Aurora. So I'm going to try to have one of these videos up every day at 6 p.m. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there should be another one the following day at 6 p.m. If you're watching on Twitch, this is just going to be a short break. So this one's going to keep going. So see you both in a bit.